Hello guys, and welcome back to the F90 channel. Today we're finally doing a test drive review of the AMG GLC 63S Coupe AMG, the longest name in the history of any car ever. And we're going to take it down the road and see what it does and actually what it feels like, because there's a lot of reviews out there that show what the horsepower torque is and kind of, okay, this is fast, this is whatever, but I want to try to portray actually what it feels like driving from the driver's seat. So super excited. We've done the exterior video, we've done the interior video, now it's time to take it on the road and show it and show you guys what it can do. So we're here at the F90 test track, or just the same road that we took the S4 on, to be completely honest. And we're gonna wait for some cars to pass. We're gonna do a launch control, and then we're gonna just drive normally and go through all the modes and see what I like, what I don't like. This car is pretty awesome just how it is, to be completely honest. But there's some things that they could definitely improve on, and let's do this. Okay guys, so first off, we're gonna have this actually in race mode. No, that's not race mode. Race mode. So what I'm going to do is going to do launch control, and as some people pointed out, I'm actually going to do the launch control where usually when you do launch control, it goes up to 3,500 RPM, and then you let off the brake and you go ahead, but you can actually raise the RPMs up to 4,000 RPMs and launch at 4,000. So I'm going to launch at 4,000, and we'll do it that way, and then see how that feels like. So traction control, we're going to put it all the way off, so hold it down for 3 seconds. We're going to go set ourselves up here. Put it into drive, put it into automatic, and here we go. Okay, so the one thing with a car like this is compared to the S4, you see I didn't have that much traction. It's actually 55 degrees out today, so it's pretty cold in Jersey, but it struggles for traction there. But once it gets going, you kind of feel just a little bit where like the blood rushes from your head and kind of from your chest, maybe some of your legs, just a little bit where it gets pulled back a lot and the blood rushes back, and that's where you get that crazy feeling like, oh man. So when you let off and you finally like are able to come back to reality, you feel the blood rush back and you're like, oh wow, and then your heart's racing and everything. So my heart rate always goes up every time I launch the car. My heart rate is going because it's pretty violent. It's good if it launched with better traction, I think it'd be even better, but unfortunately in the conditions we weren't able to do that. But so launch, as you can see, I'm in the seat. I'm not moving from the seat, probably all of first gear and then past second. Once you get into third, you can kind of move around a little bit. It's kind of how I explained in the drag racing video, where the car is really good in the eighth, so really good up to 70 miles an hour, and afterwards it kind of just hits the aerodynamic wall because it's an SUV. But let's do the power first. So 503 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque, so a lot of torque. I love torque, it's my favorite thing. Let's do a second gear. This thing is it's fast. Awesome. I mean, the torque from second gear is great. I don't think you would ever get tired of second gear, to be completely honest. Second gear is fantastic. Just put it down, second gear, 4,000 RPM, and then it brings you back all the way. You're in the seat, and it's immediate. The way the engines from AMG are produced, they're so responsive. So those people who are used to driving turbo cars, you have it where you're just on the gas a little bit, so the turbo spools just a little bit, and you floor it into it, kind of like a sort of like brake boosting, but you're not using the brake. You're just doing the gas just like the turbo spool, just a little bit, and there's boost, and you slam into it, and this thing just takes off right away. So it almost acts like an NA engine than a turbocharged one, or one that has forced induction. So really awesome. Second gear, great. I mean, I love second gear. I think every time I do a pulling gear, it's second gear. Let's do, I think this is actually where we did the first gear and then Audi, but let's do first gear. These gears are really short, by the way, so let's say 4,000, and then... So you see what happens there is, first gear wants to shift at actually 6,500 RPM. It's really weird visually when you see 7,000 RPM, and you want to shift at 7,000, but you have to shift at 6,500 because that's what the car wants to do, even in manual mode. It's just how it is. But first gear, it's like most cars, it's only really for stops, for launches or whatever, and you're not going to really use it all that much, to be completely honest. And it's really good. It's a good acceleration. It's faster than the S4 in that first gear, but it's just too, the boost just doesn't build enough in the first gear. It's just too quick. So second gear is really awesome. Third gear, let's try out third gear here. Really loud too. We'll get to that. Third gear, it's a little bit lesser than second gear. I think once you get to fourth, it's kind of where the power really drops off, and you're like, eh. But third gear is really good. You just get 4,000 and you just like roll into it. Put it back into the seat. God damn, it's a lot of fun. This is a lot of fun for an SUV. It's a lot of fun. So the horsepower, yeah, it'll carry you. Once you go to highway speeds, it starts to lose its kind of grandeur, kind of being an AMG, to be a little kind of honest. I think just the aerodynamics hits it too much, and you're not going to be flying down, you know, the highway. You can go really high into 3-digit speeds, but it's just not going to feel the same as it is from second or third gear, to be completely honest. It just doesn't translate that well for an SUV. All right, so let's go on to the transmission. So the transmission, this is Mercedes, as well, relatively new anyway, 9-speed that they have, and I believe it's like a combination between a dual clutch and a torque converter. No. Do not say the M word inside of a M car, because it's gonna turn on the MBUX. But anyway, it's really good. Downshifts are immediate. So one thing I didn't like about the S4 is that it was, so let's say we're doing it in fifth, driving down. Let's see how fast the downshifts are. So we're gonna go fourth, third. Yeah. Let's say if we want to do something a little quicker. Okay, it's still just a slight hit of delay, but that's like if you miss a corner, you have to do it really fast. It's much faster than the ZF Auto that the Audi had, but still really good. Upshifts are awesome. They're really quick. So, there you go, sixth. So no qualms with the transmission, to be completely honest, really good. Just the one thing when you're driving around town, when you're in the racier modes, like race mode, maybe sometimes Sport Plus, you're trying to step off from a stop and try to go. It's kind of really jarring just a little bit when you're in race, but that's because the car really wants to go and it's supposed to be used on the racetrack, so that's what you get. So the individual actually have it in Sport Plus for the dynamic mode, or for the dynamics of the car, should I say. So handling wise, a white knuckle experience, because the immediacy out of the corners is fantastic. It's just explosive, and it hugs the corners really well. The one thing coming from a sedan or a coupe into an SUV like this is, while it's dialed in, right? It did really well in an Nürburgring. The thing is, like, you kind of have to settle the weight first, and then you settle a little bit, and then you kind of turn into it. Otherwise, it's not gonna. Otherwise, it's gonna feel a little weird, because it's just a little up top. You know, it feels like you're sitting higher because you are, and it's just an unnatural feeling for someone who drives a sedan all the time. But you kind of have to settle the weight a little bit first. Actually, when you're driving though, and you're going higher speeds, you could just turn in like you normally would. Maybe it's just lower speeds that it kind of feels that way, just because of how the car's set up. But the exhaust. So when it's quiet, this is quiet. You actually hear the valves are being blocked, so it kind of feels like it's fluttering, like, but with the exhaust open. Ooh. And those crackles, those pops that happen are really loud. It's like a cap gun. If you can imagine that, every single crackle is a cap gun, and then every single upshift is so loud. I mean, it's like just a little bit louder than those crackles. It's crazy. And it's, even when you have the exhaust open, it has the valves closed. And when you have it open here and you're driving around, it's still fine. It's only when you really get on it does it actually open everything, because you're full throttle, and that's when you actually get that crazy V8 sound. But when you're stopped, I mean, it's a huge difference between having the exhaust on or off. Even when you're idle, it's just nothing, and then it turns it on, and it's immediate. You can tell the exhaust is on. You don't even have to have the button illuminated to tell you the exhaust is on. Alright, so since we did all the crazy modes, let's go to comfort. So car is shifting for itself, or by itself, should I say, and everything's quiet. Drive like a normal car. We have a guy behind us. Who wants to go, I guess. Sorry guys, there's this guy behind me who really caught up really fast with the truck, and I was just trying to explain everything, but shit, I should pull up there. But so comfort mode is really nice. I mean, it shifts for you, the exhaust is really quiet, everything's really good. Going through these turns, you can still go through the turns. It's just not as stiff, I would say, but it's still really nice. And the one thing is the difference between, let's say, like, this guy's just going to be behind me the whole time, isn't he? Yeah. That was fun, but I'm not gonna go and race somebody when I'm trying to do a review video. So, having it in comfort, it soaks up all the bumps. The one thing is, like, it's still pretty stiff. I'm not gonna lie. When you hit a bump or you hit something, it's just boom. You know, when it's a smooth road, yeah, comfort works how it's supposed to work, but otherwise, it's just you're gonna hit it, but it just feels very stiff compared to any other car, to be completely honest. Like, coming from the S4, even when that one's really stiff, no, when I hit this in comfort mode, it's way stiffer. So just be prepared for that. It's not the end of the world. It's not it's not the end of anything. But you can get through it. You can get through it. Hold on, I gotta calm down from that drive. That was a little, kind of almost lost it there at the end. Came out of nowhere. But when you hit a bump, or you hit a speed bump or something like that, or like a little imperfection in the road, you're gonna feel it in the comfort mode. You also have slippery. I haven't really been able to do that yet because this car's only been here since February, so I'm not sure, but I think it should be fine in the snow. And then you have sport. Sport I never use. I think just everything's a little bit more heightened. It's actually in the little bit more stiffer setting, so instead of just regular, it goes into sport, and then it goes into sport plus, where it's like I believe it's just comfort, sport, and sport plus for the suspension settings. So sport is just a little bit more stiffer. I never use it. I did drive on sport plus when this thing first had it, so that was pretty good, but then I wasn't into race, but I realized race is too jarring. So if you want to drive around town, you want to be spirited, I would say sport plus. Racetrack, just use it on the racetrack, or just put individual, put everything in race except for the dynamics, because it's just going to make the car feel like it needs to jump out and do a bunch of stuff. But since we're here, might as well drive a little bit more. So manual. Yeah, I mean, if you're not careful, my heart is still going. Like, if you want to attack, corners, your heart rate is going up. It is crazy. And I'm not going to go explore the limits of this car on a road like this because, God forbid something happens. It's just, I'm not here to impress anyone or anything, but on the track, I'm sure it's fantastic. But this thing is great. So you can just, you have so much fun on this thing. So is it worth that like $85,000, $89,000 for this kind of SUV? Well, from the driving perspective, yeah. If you can kind of offset yourself from having a car that's really quick in the eighth, and then up top it's sort of like you know, slows down a little bit, it's still moving, but it's not the same as you normally would have it, then I think you're fine. Besides that, what about the creature covers? What about the actual Mercedes part of it? Well, there's not really that many comfort options that you could add to the GLC. Like, I have heated seats, you could have ventilated seats, you can't get massage seats, and what else? I mean, yeah, you have the ambient lighting, but it's only a little bit. I think the way the E-Class and S-Class have it is a little better. And then there's also, let's go around this trunk. You know, the MBUX is nice. The augmented reality navigation is nice. All that stuff is nice. So if you just are used to a car that has heated seats, I think you're okay. You're not missing anything else. But if you don't care what people think, awesome. But if you do, and people start asking, where's your ventilated seats? Where are your massage seats in your Mercedes Benz? Then you might have an issue. But besides that, you can't even put them on as an option. If you really need all that, I would say go for the GLE. I believe they make that in Coupe now too. They have the facelifted version, so it has the nice 2 screens and a little handle thing here that you can hold on to. But I think the shape of this thing is way sexier, to be completely honest, as a coupe. I know it doesn't really make that much sense in SUV, and a lot of people have different competing you know, points of view on that. I'm more of a coupe sedan person anyway, so SUVs, I can appreciate an SUV, but it's not just something that I'll go after. But I think this thing looks really awesome. It looks like a raised, I think if you put a roll cage all the way around or something, it would look like a Mad Max type of car, to be completely honest, because it just has it's raised, and you could tell it's not just lowered to the ground like a sedan is, but it looks like a sedan. It's really weird. Or from the inside, it actually feels more like a sedan as an SUV. And so you're driving really fast and you feel like, oh, I'm a little bit top heavy. You don't really have the issue of oh, I'm gonna roll over. You would have to really want to be trying something in order to make the car roll over. It does give you that confidence, but it's very fast. It's very fast. Turns, acceleration, if you're just doing pulls, you might get used to it after a while, but second gear is still gonna be really fun. But then it's just the higher gears, you're like, okay, whatever, I'm living with it. The exhaust note, I don't think you ever need an exhaust. I mean, it's awesome. You could have it really quiet if you want to, or you could have it so loud. I mean, you go into a tunnel, it's just as loud as almost most aftermarket exhaust. Obviously not with like a you know, straight pipe or anything, but oof. Damn, this one got my heart racing. Wow. This thing's a drive and a half. See, even then, I mean, if you put it for traction sport, it'll slide a little bit. It doesn't take much for it to slide. You have to kind of request it in order for it to slide a little bit. If you're just pointing straight, it's going to be fine. It'll kind of sort itself out. You're not fighting for traction most times, but today, since it's 55 degrees, I think if you're just turning just a little bit too much and you floor it, it's gonna just squirrel a little bit, where usually when it's warmer temperature, it doesn't. But, oh my goodness. Yeah, this is any indication you guys want an accelerating experience and you have a road like that, wow. But again, those are tight turns, you're kind of taking, and you're exploding out of the exit, out of the turn, so it's the greatest roller coaster, to be completely honest. I think AMG makes an awesome car. The one thing is, you know, the one thing I don't like with Mercedes, like, touch here and it kind of creaks. The materials are really nice, but I think the way they're put together is sometimes it might be, it's not off, but it's just, it creaks in that one spot, usually right here. But right now it's not, so maybe it sorted itself out. Look at that, drive your AMG like it's supposed to, it's going to sort itself out. But yeah, it looks fine. Let's stop here. Conclusion into what I think of this crazy beast in park. Yeah, so we went over the engine, the transmission, the exhaust, the handling, and it's pretty much it. Adjustable seats you have here, you have heated seats, you have memory seats. It's a great daily driver. I think you're paying for the performance, and the performance is vast. You have to remember this is an SUV, so you can't think, okay, I'm going to go sedan to SUV and it's going to be the same thing. It's not. First gear, second gear, third gear, awesome for this car. It is. But up top, it's just, you might be a little more disappointed, I think, if you're looking for something very, very performance-oriented. If you're never on the I mean, who's never on the highway? But it's not that it's not potent on the highway. It is. It's quicker than most cars on the highway for sure, but it's just, it doesn't make sense that you floor it so hard in second gear and it doesn't kind of take over for the rest. But shaking a little bit, but it's awesome. Wow, this is the first time I actually really pushed it like that. And It's absolutely sick. But I mean, you have your drive modes here. You can set up however you want to. You can drive it desolate. You can drive a little bit sportier. You can drive it in race mode. You can drive it 10/10 if you really wanted to. The one thing is, do not get the dynamic steering wheel unless you really want to, or you want to switch it out, because I could already see it kind of getting a little bit matted, if that's the right word to use. So get the leather one unless you want to switch it out later on, or you just don't care. What else would I get? You don't really need the ventilated seats, just a cool option. I think heated seats are kind of a must for especially areas where it gets really cold. Massage seats are nice, but again, you can live without them. What else do we have? It has a stealth parking, which I haven't done yet. Actually, honestly, I just don't know if I can find a road where someone doesn't beep at me in Jersey in order for me to actually even try it. But I mean, digital displays are here. You could set up however you want to. It is fantastic. Fantastic. Seats in the back. You have a decent amount of room. So, is it worth the price? Is it worth that $89,000? Yeah. For the looks, for how this car came in, yeah. I just really wish that it had the additional packages that I could add on. If, let's say, I was ordering this thing new, or if I was looking for a used one and I was looking for those packages, yeah, I'd probably be looking for that. But otherwise, I mean, it drives great. I haven't had any issues yet. It hasn't even been really a year yet. It's been what? It's been 8-9 months. So, but awesome. Okay, guys, that wraps it up for the How It Feels review video. Hope you guys liked it. I hope it gives you guys a sense of what it feels like to drive this AMG, and then kind of my facial expressions when I'm flooring it and how much I have to concentrate. Maybe I shouldn't have had the glasses. I should have taken the sunglasses off, but it was really bright outside. And hopefully we'll be able to do more of these, taking it to the road here and then kind of exploring what it can do. If you have any questions, again, put it down in the comments. We'll be sure to answer them for sure. And thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And